Ow! Crash Bandicoot. You understand? Crash Bandicoot. Alright. We're going to be going through Zek 10. Zek 10. Gosh. Say Zek 10. Say it. Zek 10. Put the controller down, right? Zek 10. I said simple definition. Notes explanation, Corey. Duh. This is what Zek 10 is. A promise from God to strengthen, restore, strengthen, restore, and gather his scattered people, Judah and Israel, while warning them against them relying on false haters. God pledges to replace bad leaders with good ones. Turn his people into, quote unquote, mighty warriors. And bring them back to their land with different. Is the camera angle alright? Y'all can see me? Everything good? We go like this. Different power. Different. Alright? It's giving us the blueprint right here. Verse 1 through 2 is about this. Verse 3 is about that. Verse 3 to 5 about this. Verse 6 to 12 about that. You ready? Alright, let's do verse 1 and 2, right? It says, the chapter opens by encouraging the people to ask the Lord for rain. Hold up. Hold up. Are the people that are scattered in Zek 10 the Israelites? I just gotta make sure that got exiled to Babylon. Yes. The people scattered in Zechariah 10 include the Israelites and Judeans who were exiled by Assyria and Babylon. But the prophecy hold up. Got some stuff going on in my stomach. But the prophecy in this chapter primarily refers to a broader future gathering that extends beyond the initial return from the Babylonian exile. While Zechariah was preaching to the remnant that had already returned from Babylon, post-exilic period. He was looking forward to a final restoration. Okay. We just gotta make sure, Zech 10, written, let's say prophesied. Prophesied after the Israelites came back from the exile or during the exile. We just gotta make sure Zech 10, along with the rest of the book of Zechariah, was prophesied after the Israelites came back from the Babylonian exile. What? But I thought we just... Y'all might be like, Gordy, why we don't use AI? Hold on, no, AI ain't wrong. We just got to see what it means, right? Right? Roughly 20 years after the first group returned to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple. So why does this say okay, so was Zech 10, let me say, did Zech 10, did Zechariah in Zech 10, was he talking about the people who hadn't returned? Was he talking to the people who had returned about the people who hadn't returned yet? The prophet speaks to the remnant of Jews who had already returned from the Babylonian exile, the post-exilic community, encouraging them regarding the future gathering of the rest of the people. You see, AI wasn't wrong. Both the remnant of the southern kingdom, Judah, and the scattered northern kingdom. Okay. Context is very important in the Old Testament. Did returned after the first wave of exiles, and how many waves of exiles were there that returned? The return from exile was primarily composed of the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, returning from Babylon, though it included a remnant from the northern kingdom, Ephraim and Israel, who had previously integrated into Judah or were scattered in the Babylonian Persian Empire. While the 10 quote-unquote lost tribes of the northern kingdom, conquered by Assyria in 722 BC, did not return as a cohesive nation. Some individuals did return, and the returned population also describes Scripture as Israel. There were typically three major waves of returning exile described in the books of Ezra and Nehemiah. Did both kingdoms return? The remnant of Judah, the vast majority of those returning to Jerusalem from the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, had been taken in 70 years prior. The scattered northern kingdom, the 10 tribes of the north, were scattered throughout the Assyrian Empire, roughly 130 years before Judah's fall. So the north got exiled before the south did. The first return was 538, 536, second 458, third 444, 445. Did the northern get exiled before the southern kingdom? Yes, the northern kingdom of Israel was exiled by the Assyrians in 722, 721 BC, roughly 135 years, that's a long time, before the southern kingdom of Judah was exiled by the Babylonians, which occurred around 586 BC. God dog. Assyria captured Samaria and deported many Israelites to the Khabur region and the land of the Medes. The Babylonian exile in the south, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, destroyed the temple in Jerusalem and deported the inhabitants of Judah. The northern kingdom lasted for about 200 years, while the southern kingdom lasted for about 300 years, for over 300 years. While the Judean exiled southern kingdom were allowed to return after 70 years, the Israelites of the northern kingdom are often referred to as the 10 lost tribes, as many did not return and blended into foreign cultures. Oh. Knowledge, right? I can already guess, because I've read a lot of the Old Testament already. I mean, I've skimmed over all of it, right? I'm pretty sure this is true. Was the northern kingdom more wicked in God's sight than based on the biblical narrative in 1st, 2nd Kings, the northern kingdom of Israel is generally portrayed as more consistently wicked in God's sight than the southern kingdom of Judah. So, you see, get the fruit of your actions. While both kingdoms ultimately failed due to disobedience, the north was characterized by immediate and complete apostasy. What the heck is that? Is that like rebellion? The complete abandonment or rejection of one's religious faith, principles, or cause. Completely. That's where King Ahab and King Jezebel was, right? Yeah, that's where Jezebel and King Ahab was. The northern kingdom. Yep. He said, I am playing with y'all, right? Whereas the south maintained a connection to the Davidic line and the temple in Jerusalem. And you see what happened? You think it's a coincidence? I mean, we can just look this up. Did God say he brought the southern kingdom back from exile and not the north, because the south was more faithful than the north to him. I can already, like, I ain't even got, I can already. This is important right here. Y'all see this? What that say? Okay, so let's read it. The Lord's people, remember, the Lord's people will be victorious. Ask the Lord for rain in the spring. So let's pull this back up, right? I like this right here. The breakdown, right? Trust God, not idols. That's what verses 1 and 2 are about, right? All right, let's read it. Ask the Lord, it's titled, The Lord's People Will Be Victorious. Ask the Lord for rain in the springtime. The Lord makes thunderstorms. He gives everyone rain showers for the plants in the field. Okay? So it's saying, ask God for rain for your crop, right? For rain in the spring. And it's saying God make the thunderstorms, right? And it says he gives rain showers, lots of rain, for the plants, right? Okay, verse 2. The idols speak lies. Hold on, let's split this up, right?